I'm Marcus Flowers, and I've spent my life serving this country in combat zones across the world. But I never thought I'd see one here in the United States.
Q is a patriot. We know that for sure.
That's Marjorie Taylor Greene's America.
Marjorie Taylor Greene expressed support for executing Democratic members of Congress.
Taylor Greene said that a plane did not hit the Pentagon on 9/11.
Her twisted conspiracy theories may have made her famous, but they haven't done a damn thing to help the people here in our district.
The QAnon promoting, Parkland denying freshman Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is still trying to disrupt things in Washington. But trouble is brewing back in her district in Georgia with at least 4 Democratic challengers gearing up to try to unseat her in 2022. And joining me now is the latest to throw his cowboy hat in the ring for Georgia's 14th district, Democrat Marcus Flowers. Mr. Flowers, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday Show.
Well, Jonathan, thank you for having me.
All right, so we showed your campaign launch video, which sort of spells out why you're jumping into this race. But really, why are you, aside from beating Marjorie Taylor Greene, which, you know, good luck to all 4 of you, because she needs to go. But if you were to win the primary and then beat her, what do you want to do if you come to Washington?
Well, you know, Jonathan, what we're going to focus on right now is COVID relief. That's the big thing. And I want people to know that Marjorie Taylor Greene not only voted against the COVID relief package, but she tried to obstruct people who were actively trying to help the American people. Mm-hmm. So we want to focus on COVID relief. We want to focus on jobs, small business, improving healthcare, especially rural healthcare. And an issue that is very close to my heart, Veterans Affairs. You know, as a disabled veteran who's suffered a traumatic brain injury, I want people to understand the true cost of war.
And in terms of COVID relief, so the COVID relief bill is now law of the land, a $1.9 trillion package passed and signed into law by the president on Thursday. But one piece that was left out of it was raising the minimum wage. Let's say it doesn't get done in time so that maybe you win the election and you're there in Congress. Do you support raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour?
I do support raising the federal minimum wage, Jonathan.
To $15 an hour.
It needs to be done in increments. So over the next 10 years, I think that's what they're looking at, getting up to 15. But it's something I do support, yes, absolutely.
And in terms of another thing that was done in the COVID relief package was extending child care tax benefits, which has a lot of economists and others saying that it'll reduce child poverty by 50%. But they're not permanent. They expire after a year. Would you vote for legislation that would make them permanent?
You know, Jonathan, being someone who grew up in poverty, that's what my childhood was about. And my adult life has been about serving the country. So I absolutely would love to see the millions of kids that have come out of poverty, make that permanent. We all want to see that happen. I think most Americans could agree on that.
And in terms of you, in the clip that we showed from your campaign launch video, you talk about your military service, your deployments overseas. You mentioned Afghanistan. You were a defense contractor. But in a New Republic story that was out earlier this month, it points out that you're not very open or transparent about what kind of work you did when you were a contractor with the Defense Department overseas. Why not?
Well, Jonathan, I think that's a little bit of sensationalism. My background is in logistics and compliance. You know, my job has been about supporting the warfighter and doing everything that we can to ensure that America's interests are covered abroad. So, you know, I've been clear about signing non-disclosure agreements. A lot of people ask, did you work for Blackwater? I've never worked for Blackwater.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go on more. Look, we're running out of time, but I do want to know why, given your deployments overseas, do you see scary similarities between the tenor and tone of our politics, particularly within the Republican Party now, to what you saw, say, in Afghanistan and other totalitarian regimes overseas?
Well, Jonathan, having served in Iraq and Afghanistan as a soldier, defense contractor, and government official, I've seen firsthand the damage caused by extremism, radicalism, and disinformation. I see that as where Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to take America. I know if elected to Congress, I can restore honor, decency, and integrity to this district seat.
And with that, we're going to leave it there. Marcus Flowers, who's in the Democratic primary with 3 other people to challenge Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene in the 14th district in Georgia. Thank you very much for coming to the Sunday Show.
Well, thank you for having me, Jonathan.